For my functional unit, I decided to go with academic advising because academic advising is an interest of mine and I have an interest of going into it after graduation. Academic Advising by Jordan Brock. First, let's start off with the history. Although academic advising has been a defined region within the education only a few short decades, it has been a prevalent concern since the birth of college institutions. The concept of advising students on which classes would help them complete their academic goals has been present in some shape or form since higher education institutions started. At the beginning, since students and faculty often shared residence together, institutions and faculty members had a great effect over the strict guidance and control of the students. After the American Revolutionary War, faculty began to become less involved with the students' discipline due to the growing needs for the school as a whole. Faculty began training students as free-thinking gentlemen who were responsible for their own development choices. During the 19th century, academic guidance took a place in education, and advising groups began to emerge. History continued. Frank Parsons contributed to the movement with three imperatives of personal development. First, a clear understanding of yourself, attributes, abilities, interests, resources, limitations, and other qualifications. Second, a knowledge of the requirement and conditions of different professions. Third, the opportunities and advantages of each field. Throughout World War II and after, the focus was on social justice. Access, usefulness, and accountability were the focal points of the variety of student services, especially with advising. The movement of advising throughout the history was often valued insight to theories and issues that continued to be relevant and concern for today. For my three administrators, I decided to go with Lynn Mazadoran. She is the director of the University Advising Office and Rochester Institution of Technology in Rochester, New York. Second, I went with Dr. Victoria Sniggs, Associate Vice of Academic Affairs at UT Martin in Martin, Tennessee. Last, I went with Suzanne Christie, the tutoring coordinator, academic support specialist at Reading Area Community College in Reading, Pennsylvania. First, talking with Lynn at Rochester Institute of Technology in Rochester, New York. Her overview of the program that she is the director of goes like this. The University Advising Office is an excellent starting point for general questions related to academic advising at RIT. If any member of the RIT community, student, faculty, or staff needs assistance with advising related issues, the University Advising Office is a great resource. Their mission statement. The University Advising Office leads RIT undergraduate academic advising programs and strategic student success invites to consistently support students' academic success, persistence towards education and career goals, and on-time graduation. While talking with the lady at UT Martin, she told me that each of her programs are as listed. Each department provides orientation for their faculty who serve as academic advisors. So each faculty member will have their own training and background, but when they enter the UT Martin field of academic advisors, they will be trained in certain aspects of the job that they want completed or done. So everyone has the exact same knowledge, exact same background of the university, and are all equal. Beginning this fall, actually, students were encouraged to take 15 hours. Usually they were encouraged to take 12 hours, but coming to the realization that 15 hours was a logical change and would help students get done faster, they have decided to make this change this semester. Long living learning communities. This was something that they come up with to help students within the community of the campus, and it basically is another tutoring process or a process of advising for the students. Reading Area Community College. This is their advising center in Reading, Pennsylvania. The Advising Center is your first stop for assistance with academic planning. The Advising Center has both faculty and staff advisors who are here to help you, whether it is discussing different majors, selecting courses, or planning to transfer. The Advising Center staff can assist you. Challenges for advising. While talking with Lynn in New York, she brought up some very important challenges that academic advisors are dealing with currently. One main challenge is a caseload. Each academic advisor has a certain number of students that they watch out for or look over during the semester. Each academic advisor has this student or students to look after, and this caseload has slowly been growing over time. They do not have the capacity to keep up or do not have the time to meet with every student, and this is causing issues. Another issue that I heard from all three of my interviews, meeting the mental health needs for students has become a challenge for them. Not only are they there to help the student decide what they want to do with their future, which courses they should take to pursue their goals, they're also there as semi-counselors, talking with them about their issues, talking with them about stressors, talking with them about anything that's going on within their lives. Because some of these can be causing problems with classes and jeopardizing their goals. So they have had a problem with dealing with this as well. Another challenge facing advisors is the cost impact for students. This is starting to impact students because more and more students are looking into different ways of getting a degree and less ways of paying. So their tuition is going up and stuff like that, so they don't have the capacity to come to school or are losing out on certain things that they could do with more money or with not paying as much tuition. Another problem that they're facing are the expectations from students and parents. Students are wanting one thing while parents are wanting another thing, and finding that exact balance between both of them to make both of them happy is an issue. Another one is online management. Recently, Lynn told me for the RIT program, or for RIT, that they're having a problem with students wanting much more of online access to grades, to files, to PowerPoints, to etc. But they're dealing with faculty and staff who don't want to put things online, would rather hand it out in class, and you see the disconnect there. So they're dealing with this challenge at the moment. Strengths of academic advising. Recognizing that one size does not fit all. The right tools to help the student. Encouraging students to become more active in this process. Addressing the whole student in a team approach. First, recognizing that one size does not fit all. So recognizing what works for one student might not work for the next student that comes into your office. what worked for Tim might not work for John. So you have to understand that each person is different. Each person has a different learning style. Each person comes with different issues that you have to work around in order to advise them. Right tools to help the student. So knowing your campus, knowing what the university offers, knowing the program that this person wants to go into, and knowing the correct people to guide them in their journey. Encouraging students to become more active in this process. You should be encouraging your students to learn about their university and learn about the classes that they need to take, and should encourage them to bring in possible classes for them to take, possible clubs for them to join, something to get them out of their room, anything like that. Addressing the host student in a team approach, working with your faculty members, your colleagues, and anyone else that the student comes into contact with, like their parents, guardians, friends, anything like that, to help the student reach their goals and accomplish their degrees. Expectations for advisors. Provide students with information on policies, procedures, and programs on campus. So making sure your students that you're advising know what they have to have done, what they need to do, how many credits they need, how many classes they have, how many hours they need to take, all of this so they can be as successful as possible. Assist students in exploring educational and career opportunities. Like, if a student has to do an internship, help them find an internship. If they have a specific career goal, help them find the exact program, major, minor that fits with that career opportunity. Assist students with establishing goals. Usually when students come in as freshmen, they do not have a set of goals right away. They know that they want to be in school, but they don't know exactly what they want to do, how they can do this, how they can accomplish what they want. So establishing a goals with them, either long-term or short-term, will better them in the future. Assist students with the development of an education plan for study and the selection of courses. Basically, helping them set up their schedule and education plan for future semesters to understand that this is what they're doing for the next semester and for the next 3 years or 4 years or 5 years. Make the students aware of the range of opportunities offered to them. Not only are you here to help the students with their courses, with their studies, other things like that, you're also here to help the student kind of as a mentor, as a guide. So letting them know programs that they can join on campus, student programs that they can be a part of, Greek life, counseling services, anything like that that will help them be as successful as possible. Diversity. I asked all 3 of my interviews, does diversity play a role? I got different answers for this. 2 said the standard that everyone is treated the same, but diversity to me isn't about treating people equal, it's more about learning what works best for them. Lynn at RIT in New York said that this is a problem in her office because most advisors are white female. It is hard to connect with the students sometimes when no one looks like them. She said to me that students are coming in, they're talking with an advisor, they're getting along and all this, but she has noticed that everyone looks the same. There are different races, different cultures, different all this with the students, but not with the advisor. So you come in and you talk with someone who looks like someone that you didn't grow up with, or that wasn't in your culture. How do you open up to them? How do you trust them? How do you listen to them if you don't connect with them right off the bat? So finding that connection with the student is somewhat hard for the RIT program at the moment. Being diverse within your background and other people's backgrounds can help you connect with a student a lot more and better their future and yours as well. This is why training for advisors is important. Training them all on certain backgrounds or certain students they will come in contact with will better them and help their students be better students as well. Budget cuts. This was a tense subject with everyone that I interviewed. The negative impact on campus and students is right there and up front with budget cuts. All three of my interviews agreed that their budgets, if being cut, would affect the student body. The advisors could cause them to have an increase on their workload, and which would make it hard for them to meet with students. Less professional development for advisors to have similar training. So, let's start with the first one. The impact on campus and students. Possibly, if the advisor program loses their budget, they may not have enough advisors to contact students to help students to meet with students. Students would suffer from this, would not know what classes to do, would basically could possibly be doing classes that they don't need. The advisor caseload could increase, making it harder to meet with students. That one-on-one communication, that one-on-one knowing each other would be lost. Less professional development for advisees to have similar training would be cut because this is something that they could go without, but if in the office they do not all have the same training, the same background, the same knowledge that they should all have within this campus, within the program. So cutting that would be a big loss for advisors. To become an advisor, a diverse background is an important part of this job. Review requirements for the job. Determine which level of education you need. A master's degree usually is required for most positions. Determine your preferred work experience. Network and develop own personal advising philosophy. So, make sure you understand the requirements for the job. Determine that if you want your master's degree, if you want to go above that. Determine your work experience, what age group you would like to work with. Would you only like to work with high school students or college students? Networking and development of your own personal advising philosophy. Understand how you become an advisor, understand where you want to go, and understand your colleagues, how they become leaders in this program, and how they evolved, and how they can help students evolve as well. Guide but don't choose, don't decide. This was a saying in one of the videos on the website for Rochester, I believe. Steps to being a great academic advisor. Guide but do not decide. So you help them guide. You help your student guide through their courses and understand that they need them, which ones would they like to do, and all of this. But don't decide for them. It's still their choice to do this class or that class, or join this program or that program. Connect with the students on a personal level. This is somewhat hard if it's not a diverse background or someone you can connect with. Listen to their goals and help them set new ones. Establishing goals will help students in the long run, meeting those goals and setting new ones as well. Having knowledge about all programs offered, knowing about your campus, helping students learn new things about campus, learn about all the programs offered, know about all the majors, all the minors, and what requirements are due for them. Promote student involvement, like getting the student out of their room, getting them more involved, helping them promote their own healthcare, inform students on healthy habits and smart decision making, promote international studies as well. Alrighty, so for my activities, I decided to do 2 questions and a case study. So what do you think? What are some effective ways advisors can connect to their students? Do you think diversity has a role in academic advising programs? Next, my case study. Imagine you are now an academic advisor for Murray State. You have a caseload of around 60 students to keep an eye on throughout the semester. One of your students comes in crying because she hates her major and doesn't know what to do. After talking with her, you learn that her family decided she has to be a nurse, although she really wants to be a music teacher. How would you fix this conflict? Her parents want her to do something while she really wants something else. How would you go about fixing this? How would you talk to her parents? How would you discuss her options with her? Please let me know. These are my resources that I used. I used the article on how to become an academic advisor, and I used the article about history of academic advising. My last three are each of the institutions that I used and their academic advising websites. Thank you.